Welcome to Like Pigs in Space, Arts and Culture Podcast. I'm Aaron Mason,
I'm Max Mason.
and this week is going to be your turn.
It is.
And
Yeah.
you said you have a bunch of notes, so that's good.
I do. Also, last episode is when I used the new, better recorded theme song.
Okay.
So hopefully that sounds better.
Yeah, it was nice.
I worked on it for more than an hour.
Hour and 10.
Yeah. And I think just because of what we've talked about and to let people have an update, there was a new 21 Pilots album.
Yes.
And it is very good.
So when did you start listening to it?
I listened to it yesterday when I got home.
Okay. I had to pick up Claire at 9 on Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was already listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I came home and had to do work. So I listened through and I watched the new video.
Yeah.
And I thought they were, I had no idea, but I thought they'd have videos for everything. So I pulled up all the videos and they were all just audio tracks except for the one. So
yeah, they did that for the last album. They did a music video for every song, but
right.
I guess I don't like these ones as much.
Just different approach or something.
So. But it was really cool. It was a good music video for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
I think it's also cool because Tyler's been pretty like anti-AI before, and so he's made a big push to make sure people who work on the music videos are recognized.
Yeah.
And I think there's even a note at the end that was like, "Thanks for believing in music videos."
Yeah, it was really. I noted that, and also the fact that they rolled credits for all of the most recent music videos as well.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting.
Good stuff. Yeah. So,
cool.
So anyways, I am going to start today. I'm going to talk about my friend Brendan.
Okay.
Who you probably know a little bit. We spent a good amount of time together. I think we were best friends probably about 4th or 3rd grade is when we started hanging out.
Right.
And then just onward from there. We lived in the same neighborhood, very close, and even closer when we moved. Within the same neighborhood, but we ended up being just a street away.
Right.
And so he lived with his mom there, and he was an only child, had a big pool and lots of fun video games and things. So I hung out there a lot. But one of the things he had or his mom had, was this huge speaker system in their like living room, and it had one of those really old, not really old, but big CD carriage things that held like 300 or 500 CDs in it.
Oh, okay.
Had a ton of music in it. And what was also cool is that I don't know if she put it together or one of her friends put it together, but there was a binder that they had that cataloged every song, like in alphabetical order, every album or artist, and it would let you know like which number CD to go to if you wanted to listen to a specific song. It was a big binder.
Yeah.
But this was, I think, some of my first musical exposure outside of our house.
Okay.
And probably outside of school, but I wasn't really exposed to anything too extreme in middle school.
Right.
So yeah, some of my first exposure. And as you can guess, being that it was like the mid 2000s, there was a lot of like 70s and 80s music in there.
Sure.
A lot of like classic rock and hair metal stuff. Also some like early R&B stuff.
Yeah.
And there's a few groups that just because of, I don't know if they were Brendan's favorites or his mom's favorite, they would just end up playing a lot that I think are more obscure today or just like not talked about very much. So groups like Golden Earring.
Yep.
And Three Dog Night and Deep Purple.
Yeah. Those are
maybe Deep Purple a little more.
Yeah.
Maybe in
those were big ones of the 70s. I mean, big rock bands. They had some huge hits.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cool.
But there was one that really stuck out, and the first song I heard from this group was called Eruption.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it was Van Halen.
Yeah.
We listened to a lot of Van Halen, kind of constantly. Like Brendan and I were both very into Van Halen and would like play air guitar to it. I think most days that I went over to his house we would listen to Eruption a couple of times.
Oh, wow.
Especially the first album that is just really good, has a lot of their, bigger hits on it. And then we kind of learn like the lore behind Eruption and why it existed. That might be apocryphal.
Yeah.
Like in early sets, he'd like play Eruption like with his back to the audience because he didn't want people to see what he was doing.
Oh.
Or that it was recorded on accident, just like it was his warm-up song, and then the producer was just like, I'm just gonna record it anyways. And
That's funny.
I don't know if that's true. But it was fun. It was fun, like a fun story. And I just knew from listening to it so much that I had to learn it. I had to learn how to play it. And it's what I think is the biggest thing that made me want to start learning guitar.
Oh, cool.
But I didn't really have like that learn it by ear skill yet. Still pretty young. So I remember discovering tabs as a kid.
Oh, right.
And the first ones I found were on YouTube. I remember finding them and being like, this is it. Like, I figured it out. And like rushing over to Brendan's house to show him. It's like, we can learn anything this way. So I think the first thing I learned, or that, we tried to learn together, was Smoke on the Water.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Easy enough. But right after that, I tried to learn Eruption.
That's a bit of a step up because I could at least play the line from Smoke on the Water, like the main guitar line, anyway, the notes. I could at least play that, but that's kind of where it ends.
Yeah. But it was also funny because, when we started learning it, it didn't click for Brendan.
Right.
He as much as he likes music, I don't think he was as musically inclined as I was at the time. So it just didn't click with that. But it did for me. Like I totally understood putting your fingers where numbers were.
Yes.
That made a lot of sense to me. But I didn't learn all of it. It's still a hard song.
Right.
The most I ever learned was I learned the ending tapping bit.
Okay.
I can still do that, and a little bit of like the tremolo picking, in like the middle section of the song.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my like early exposure to Van Halen, and just kind of got ingrained in my psyche as something that I liked. And it was funny telling Chloe that I was going to be talking about Van Halen. She was like, I didn't even know you liked that kind of music. It's pretty outside the stuff I normally listen to.
Yeah, but what's interesting for context, a lot of people in the 80s had heard Van Halen, but probably didn't know they were listening to Van Halen.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were on a lot of movie soundtracks, but used in weird ways. So probably everybody's first exposure to Van Halen was Eruption. They just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Because it was in Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's another song called Everybody Wants Some that was famously done in, I think it's One Crazy Summer, and it's a little hamburger guy singing Everybody Wants Some. He's like claymation.
Oh, okay.
But it's the real song. So it's, David Lee Roth singing and all that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of exposure to them, but also there's a break between popular culture and rock, like metal, because they're metal, at the time. And then they finally started to merge about the time that they turned into a different group.
Right.
And you're like, oh, well, you should have heard them when they were good.
Yeah.
So just interesting.
Yeah, they're very cool. And I think it's also like, Eddie and Alex are like classically trained musicians.
Right.
So they are like, there is a very musical element to their writing. As as far as it's like popular music, it's still very musical and very complex. So just became a part. I listened to more Van Halen, and then we moved to South Carolina, and within the first few months there, I went to scout camp.
Oh yeah,
way out in North Carolina with people I didn't know at all. That scout camp was also run by horrible people.
Oh no.
I don't know if we were just too far away. A lot of other groups were from North Carolina, and we were middle South Carolina.
Right.
So I don't know if they just hated us for that reason, but there was one day when we had a bunch of like competitions going on, and one of them we had to build this fire. This isn't part too related, but we had to build this fire where it was 2 sticks and there was 2 strings at different levels, and we
Yeah.
had to build a fire with just a few little things and burn through both the strings as fast as possible. And they gave us, we got 3 matches, but if you used a match, it was it added like 5 seconds. And so we were getting ready in line, and we made all this, we found this like twine and like stripped it all apart to like very fine pieces. And we used 1 match to start it, and it just shot up super, like instantly and got through both the strings. And we were like, great, like that was the fastest time we had seen and did a great job. Thought we were done. And so our scout leader threw the other 2 matches into the fire, and they were like, that counts, we're adding that to your time.
Oh,
We're already done though, we burned through the strings, we're not burning through anything else.
right.
And because we protested and we're like, no, that's not fair, they just disqualified us. And we're like, nope, troop whatever, I don't remember the number,
Yeah.
is disqualified.
Oh, I hate that.
And we also, I don't know if you remember, we built like a trebuchet for a competition there.
Yeah.
That was huge. I think it was massive. And it did great. Like it did a lot better than all the other ones. But the one that we lost to wasn't even a trebuchet. It was just a giant slingshot. It was 2 giant rubber bands on a post.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's not a trebuchet. That's not part of the competition. And we lost.
Oh, yeah. You were getting they're prejudicing you.
Yeah. And then the one other thing, we had our Scoutmaster, they had a cobbler making contest with just the Scoutmasters.
Yeah.
And our Scoutmaster made a banana cobbler. That is like one of the best things I've ever had. It was incredible.
Yeah.
But one of the judges was like, yeah, I don't like banana, and gave it a 0.
Oh, geez.
So
That's why in a lot of competitions like that, they throw out the high and the low.
yeah, they should have, but they,
Yeah.
they didn't
But
do
it
that
was
for us.
jerks. Do you remember what that one was called or where it was?
I want to say Barstow, but I don't think it's Barstow.
Barstow is the one right down the road.
Yeah. I don't remember really.
Oh, weird. I didn't know any of this.
Yeah. But it was also, I'd only been there like 2 months maybe living in South Carolina, so it was kind of a weird time. But
Yeah.
I ended up friending somebody who we bonded over knowing Van Halen riffs on guitar.
Okay. Cool.
Who is Elaine now.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of sparked our friendship and started jamming, and that's what led to, us being in a band together, and all that good stuff was that we both knew Van Halen and how to play a couple of their songs.
So did she bring a guitar or
No,
somebody?
I remember I think we were in line for lunch or something, and I think she just said or mentioned being able to play, I don't know, Ain't Talking About Love or something. And I was like, oh, I know how to play that too. And I was like, oh, it's cool. And I think someone else had a guitar, so we had borrowed it and played a little bit.
Yeah, you two, you spoke as much through playing riffs at each other as you did actual words, I think. So in the end.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So.
But one of our earliest hangouts where we got together, we ended up going to a place called Papa Jazz in 5 Points in Columbia.
Right.
Which is super cool. I guess it's still there, which is really cool.
Oh, wow.
Not a lot of places like that probably would have survived a lot of, the current economic times. But it's just this little shop that looks completely run down, but it's just stuffed full of vinyl records.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a job when we went there, so I didn't really have a lot of money. But when we went there, I found a copy of the record "Diver Down" by Van Halen for like $3. And it's like, that's in my price range. And I think it's the first vinyl I owned myself. And so I remember playing it a ton. I took it to school in high school pretty often, and would also take the Fisher Price record player and played it on that.
Nice.
Which that thing's so cool.
Yeah.
For how cheap it is, it plays it pretty well.
Yeah, that's good.
But that became my favorite album of theirs, and that's the album I want to talk about today.
Oh, cool. All right.
So Diver Down was released April 14th, 1982, and it's their 5th album, and it kind of exists for a weird reason. Like I don't think the band really wanted it to exist. So they had just finished their tour for Fair Warning, which had came out in 81.
Yeah.
Which is great. Another great album.
Yeah.
But they wanted to take some time to write songs for what would become 1984 later on in 1984. and so they thought like, hey, let's just do a single, let's do a cover and put that out just so people know that we're alive and we exist. And and the song that they put out, what it was going to be was Dancing in the Street.
Right.
But Eddie couldn't figure out a riff that he liked for it. So they ended up putting out Pretty Woman.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
In like January of 1982. And whoops, it became a massive hit. It was like one of their biggest songs to date. And so the record label was like, hey, you're going to capitalize on this. Like, we need to put out a record. You need to put something out. And they really didn't want to.
Right.
So they kind of got pressured into doing something. And they recorded Diver Down in 12 days.
That explains a lot.
Yeah.
Actually.
And so it's kind of a weird album. It's 12 songs, which is kind of long for the time, but it's 5 covers, 3 instrumentals, and only 4 full original songs.
Right.
And it's like 31 minutes. Like, it's pretty quick. And it's also weird because it has like some of the most understated, kind of calmer David Lee Roth vocals. Like, they're not too bombastic. And it covers a lot of weird genres too. Like, there's of course the hard rock that they're doing, but there's also like Baroque music and flamenco and like jazz and bebop stuff in there. But it's just great. And it's really fun. And so let's get into it.
Yeah. This is an odd one. And I remember listening to it back then because it was because of the kooky songs, not even like the good ones. It was just, we'd listen to the weird ones.
Yeah.
So
I remember the vinyl that I got, the tracks were out of order, which I think is kind of common sometimes just because of, having limited amount of time on a record.
Yeah.
They might have to rearrange the songs so they all fit on one.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's what happened. I don't remember the exact order, but I remember it being different than what's listed everywhere.
Okay.
So, okay. Get into track 1, which is Where Have All the Good Times Gone?
Right.
Which is kind of fun because it's a Kinks cover, which they did on their first album with You Really Got Me. And, that worked pretty well. That's a great song. But what I learned about them is that they actually had a book of Kinks songs, and they just learned all of them. And they would kind of switch them out in like the early days in their set list as like staple or fillers. But yeah, so it's kind of fun. It's crazy. It's noisy. The solo that Eddie does is not so much a solo as it is just like, him making weird noises.
Yeah.
Which he's very good at.
Yeah.
But it's that, classic Van Halen tone, that like brown sound, whatever he called it, which is always amazing to me. Like I've tried to watch a lot of things, like being like, how did he get that sound? Because there's no distortion. He doesn't use distortion at all.
Right.
It's just, he's always just like, yeah, if you just have a good guitar, you don't need distortion. And it's like, well, you did not have a good guitar. It was like a very trash guitar. But,
yeah.
But just how he used the amp and how he just cranked all the the power on it. And
right, knowing your instrument is an important element of it. So that's another part of it. And it's funny that they use the Kinks so much. Like that's they're I mean, I like the Kinks. I think the Kinks really were one of the leaders into punk and metal. So they were a lot heavier than most of the people around them. So it's kind of cool that they picked up on that.
I wonder if that's also why Eddie didn't use distortion, is because I don't think the Kinks used distortions. They pretty famously like cut up their amplifiers, like put holes in the speakers,
right?
And that created the distortion.
Yeah, that's funny. They're an irreverent band as well. So
yeah,
maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, it kind of matches. I mean, the lyrics in this song, they sound like anything David Lee Roth would write.
Right. Exactly.
Same with You Really Got Me. They're just a good match. But yeah, that's that song. A good high energy, fun intro.
Right.
And then we go to the next song. There's not like, it's not like the densest album.
Right.
So I might not have a ton to say about all these, but
that's fine.
I'll go on. So the next song is Hang 'Em High. And it's a very, fast paced song. And I think it shows what's really great about both of them, about Eddie and Alex.
Cool.
The riff has like Eddie's virtuosistic skills kind of built into it. It's not, he doesn't just save it for the solo. It's like part of the riff is the insane fast playing that he can do. And then the drums have that really great like gallop double bass.
Yeah.
That Alex does, most famously probably the Hot for Teacher.
Oh yeah.
Drums.
Yeah, okay.
And it comes up a few times in this album, but it's just great and it's very crisp and clear, and it's kind of fun because it's not just like straight like do 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 do.
Right.
It's like do 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 do.
Yeah. So he mixes it up.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, and the lyrics are fun. What I read is that when David Lee Roth heard the riff or what they were going to be, he's like, it sounds like a western, sounds like cowboy music, and so that's what the lyrics are about. And it fits. It sounds great, and there's some weirdness to it too. Like there's some weird double tracking in the vocals in the verse, especially, where it sounds like he didn't remember what he was going to sing. And so they don't like quite match up and kind of sounds pretty jumbled. But it sounds kind of like a, old cowboy, graggly voice, which is kind of cool. But it does match up in the chorus and like this post-chorus part. So like, I know he can do it. Just he didn't want to that time. And it's also like that the post-chorus has some like actually like very good singing from David Lee Roth. I mean, I know he's a fine singer, but I think it's more people like the personality that he brings.
Exactly.
But this is like actually pretty good singing, and he like hits some high notes very strongly and holds them out, and it's good. And listening to it, maybe it's just because of what I'm reading right now, but it reminds me a lot of the Gunslinger.
Oh, cool.
And Roland, and
maybe they need to use this in a better adaptation of the Gunslinger.
Yeah. There's even I think the lyric in the chorus is he comes from nowhere but returns to his own.
Yeah.
So very Gunslinger sounding. So did you watch that movie? The Dark Tower?
Dark Tower, yeah.
Did you like it very much, or?
I liked it. It's just it's sad because it was supposed to be like 3 hours long, and it ended up being an hour and a half. Like it's on the shorter side. But I really liked it because I like who's in it and I like how they did it. I think it's great. Not a lot of people think it's great, but I think it's great. Okay. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I know that they're working on a series, like a TV version of it for Amazon.
That'll be better.
Yeah,
I mean it's such a big book, such a big story.
Yeah,
that was more of like a highlight reel. So, but it was cool.
Yeah. All right. So track 3, here we go, is Cathedral. So in my mind, what I always thought is that there's 3 great solo guitar songs in like the Van Halen category, and there's more probably.
Yeah.
But the ones I always think about it's Eruption, Spanish Fly, and Cathedral.
Right. Yeah. And
to me, I think that Cathedral is probably the most difficult, and it's not because of the crazy fast playing or tons of tapping or whatnot. It's really just all in the technique and the tone and the more subtle things that Eddie was just very great at.
Right.
And this is also like, I've listened to a lot of covers just trying to see if people can do it right, and I just never hear one that's that good or that close to what Eddie does. And it's the same with the Mean Street intro, if you know that one, where he's kind of like slapping.
Right. Yeah.
Can never find a good version of that. It's just him.
Do you think it's just because they're trying to make it their own, or they just can't do what he can do?
I think they just can't do what he can do. They're trying very hard to get it as close as possible, and it's just nowhere as clean as he does it. Except for one guy. There's one guy on YouTube, I think it's like Tom Shreds. Okay. He does Van Halen very well.
Yeah.
So he can do that one really good. But most other ones are like pretty noisy, a little messy, and they're close, but they're just not as crisp as.
That's surprising because I know a guy who did did Cathedral and did it very well.
Yeah.
Very, very close. Maybe we'll talk about him in a second here.
Yeah. So the technique with this is the hammer-ons.
Okay.
And the volume swells and doing them very evenly and fast. And then there's the delay that makes it sound more like something.
Right.
But yeah, I can't find anyone who does it as smooth, who gets the tone right. The other ones, you just got to get that tapping and speed picking down, and you could probably pull them off.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember when I first heard it, I thought it was a cello at first. Like, it was just so completely not what I thought a guitar could sound like.
That's cool.
But I think I know what you're talking about, and that I did this for a school talent show.
Right.
But I couldn't do this. I couldn't do the volume swells. I don't think the guitar I had could handle it. So I had to fake it. So I turned the tone so it was like very bassy in the mids, and then turned like the treble all the way off so it has that very wide, warm tone. And then I think I played it with my fingers so there's not like the harshness of a pick.
Okay.
And then I had the delay and everything to make that sound good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just had to. I faked it.
I don't know if you're going to explain it or you weren't watching, but just so people can understand when you did this, we're, like you said, we're in South Carolina, and we're not in just South Carolina. We're in Gilbert, South Carolina, out in the country, you know. And, most of the talent show was probably maybe singing to a track, or I don't know, they're, doing gymnastics or something. I don't know. Yeah. There's a lot of cheer, and Max was relatively unknown in the school. And so when he walked out on stage, it was just him in a ugly suit and big hair and his guitar and his amp. And everybody's like, okay. And they're like, you could feel the audience disengaging because you weren't a Southern girl or anybody they knew. Yeah. And then and Cathedral starts off slow. Yeah. Right. It seems like you're just not doing anything. So I'm sure they're like, what is this? And then you start into the hammering and the delay, and it goes, and you're and you're playing this, and you're not doing. You're concentrating on the song, so it's a very unassuming performance. You're just making this sound that nobody can believe, and then the whole place erupts, and you just kind of wander off stage. This is just what I do. Yeah. And it was really hilarious because it was just, you just came on and played guitar better than anybody in the entire area, and nobody expected it. Nobody knew. Nobody was cheering for you. Nobody was supporting you at first, and then all of a sudden everybody knew who you were. So it's good. It's good. Like from School of Rock, one good guitar solo can change the world. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of funny because I think that's what led to me doing things like the Miss GHS pageant, like doing the beauty pageant at school. I was asked to do a song there. Which was so weird because like you said, I was pretty unknown. I wasn't like unpopular or like, right. I'll say I was known, but I wasn't popular, and it wasn't for any reason. Right. It was just because I was just kind of quiet. You were new and you're an outsider, and we live in the land of, I mean, let's face it, we're a bunch of weirdos. So we don't care that we're not popular in general. So that's just how it is. Yeah. But what happened with that is the organizers needed some extra like musical numbers between whatever. And they went to the women's choir. That was the period. And they went and was like, hey, is there anyone here who would want to do a musical number? And then I guess a few of the people in the women's choir was like, oh, you should get Max to do a number. and so they came to orchestra when I was in orchestra, and they asked me, and that's the story they told me. And I was like, oh, well, how do people know me? I was like, I guess I'll do it. Yeah. And I was supposed to go up there with my friend Matt, and he was going to play the like djembe, whatever it is. Yeah. The little sitting box drum. Might not be a djembe. Yeah. Whatever those are called. But he had to ditch out last minute. So it was just me. And I did Pompeii by Bastille. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But that was fun. Did you sing? I did sing, yeah. Yeah. That was the one, like, you wouldn't let me do it unless I sang it in front of you guys first. Oh. And I was like, I don't want to sing in front of you. So I went into the other room and shut the door and did it. And you guys just listened in. Yeah. And then you said it was okay to do. So
We didn't know if you could sing yet.
Yeah.
So we're like, yeah, we know you can play an instrument, but we're not so sure about the singing side. So you need to tell us, is it going to work out? Because this wasn't the show at the dive bar. This was kind of an event. So
yeah, but that was fun.
No,
I don't think I got the memo because it was kind of like Grease themed.
Ah!
The prom, so everyone else doing musical numbers did songs from Grease.
Oh no! Well, they can suck.
But I think it went well enough.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's
fun.
my history with Cathedral.
Okay, good. I like it. It's epic.
Good song. Okay. Next one is called Secrets.
Okay.
And this one's kind of fun because it starts with the secret polyrhythm. That you don't even realize is a polyrhythm until the main riff starts. Like it's just this chord. It's like but it's this 3-against-2 polyrhythm that when the riff comes in, it's not that you don't realize that it was a polyrhythm all along.
Okay.
Which is cool. Kind of plays in that secret thing. Yeah. And it's kind of a fun rhythm or a fun riff because it's very clean. It's a very clean tone.
Yeah.
Which is not something that he did a whole lot of. It was played on one of those double neck 12-string guitars, like that Jimmy Page kind of guitar.
Oh, cool.
And then the vocals from David Lee Roth are like almost like a whisper. Like they're very, very subtle. And especially in the chorus, he kind of goes like she got that rhythm. And every time I hear it, it always reminds me of Fozzie Bear singing I Got Rhythm.
Yeah.
Like I got rhythm.
Yeah. There's a lot of similarities between Fozzie Bear and David Lee Roth, I have to say. So.
Yeah. But it's fun. It's a fun song. The solo was done. It was first take.
Nice.
Probably, just had to rush it out, and it's good. It's fun. I think Eddie had said it gets better every time we play it, but I still like the solo that I recorded.
Oh, good.
And I guess the lyrics were inspired by like postcards that they found in Albuquerque.
Oh, weird.
Which is weird because like you listen to the lyrics, like I don't get how any of this could be a postcard. But
yeah.
But,
wow.
Whatever inspires you.
Yes.
Works. Cool. All right. So I actually want to talk about the next 2 songs together because I think they work a lot better to think of them as one song.
Okay.
And that's Intruder going into Pretty Woman.
Oh, good. Okay. So
it's kind of cool. So Intruder was written by David Lee Roth himself.
Okay.
And the band like filled it out. But it's really cool. I think it really makes the cover and that huge popular single a lot brighter and a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Because of how dissonant and droning and noisy Intruder is. So it was written to fill out time in the music video, which was also directed by David Lee Roth. And it's just this like synth sound that's very harsh and drony, and Eddie is doing these weird sounds on his guitar.
Yeah.
But it sounds huge, and it's really cool. And it just kind of brings it all together in the drums because it's the same beat the whole time that he uses for Pretty Woman.
Oh, okay.
So they just effortlessly merge together. But yeah, and then goes into Pretty Woman, and I get why it became like a number 1 song because it's a great cover.
Yeah, and it was just about the right time. There's a lot of covers. There's a lot of covers in the early 80s of 50s and 50s songs, 60s songs that it was a popular thing.
Yeah.
I think we go through cycles where we think we're running out of music, and so we have to recycle what was already done.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's happening now with David Guetta.
Yeah.
He's doing all those like 80s pop songs that are so bad.
Or One Direction, which all their songs sound like a different previous song.
Yeah.
But then
they just kind of
swerve. Because I don't know if this is the right time, but you're talking about, when you think about Van Halen, you think that maybe David Lee Roth was just the singer.
Yeah.
That's what comes across, is because they don't ever show, like, he didn't play in the concerts, or at least not later on.
Yeah.
And so comes across as that, but there's a brilliance to him that is hard to believe because he's such a goofball.
Right.
Like he comes across as just the most surfer dude, clueless guy. But I've heard a couple of anecdotes about people who have run across him that are just like he knew the business, or he knows the business inside and out.
Yeah.
And he gives them, he's like, no, you go, here's this, and here's the revenue on this, and if you do this, and had all the figures in his head of how you come out of this ahead of a concert or some kind of engagement. He's just like, you got to do this and this and this and this. And if you do this, you get this, and you have all this revenue here, and you do this.
Yeah.
And then you get all this money. And like, dude, it's just how that works. And he says the whole thing, and he seems like he's drunk all the time, drunk or high or out of it.
Yeah.
But then says this stuff that's brilliant. And like, so, okay, it's just your voice. It's like, it's like being accused of being dumb because of his accent.
Yeah. Right.
So it's insane that he's kind of brilliant. He may be difficult to get along with. He may be, full of himself. And that's, there's a lot of reasons why they parted ways, but he's also kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
So
that's what I think really shows up a lot in this album, especially. I don't think it really shows up much more in other albums before. But definitely in this one, you get a lot of just how like musically savvy he really was.
Right.
And it's hard to compare it next to, Eddie Van Halen, who's obviously incredible, but there's a reason they went together so well.
And really, all of the albums are great.
Yeah.
Like none of them are you're buying for just one track. You're buying it for the album.
Yeah.
That's on every single one while they were together. So
the one story I've heard a few times, it's not really about how brilliant he is, but just kind of how David Lee Roth is this guy. I forget who it was, but he was at some studio and David Lee Roth was there, and he had this like giant fur coat, and they like are passing by each other, and he's like, hey man, do you want a beer? And he opens up his coat and it's just lined with beers.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, oh no, man, I'm okay. And David Lee Roth is like, what's wrong, man? You got school tomorrow?
Yeah. You know what that is? It's Henry Rollins.
Oh yeah.
It's on one of his spoken word albums, and it's Henry Rollins telling that story, because Henry Rollins is straight edge, or like he's like, no man, I don't drink.
Yeah.
And that was where the story and that's where the thing's from, is some of those brilliances. You're like, what is, and then he says stuff like that.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, man?
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, great song. Often seen as one of their best songs. And even though there's not any there's no guitar solo, there's no like over the top, David Lee Roth isms, but it's just a good band doing a good song, and kind of all you really need.
Cool.
But yeah, I think it's best to view Intruder and Pretty Woman as one song.
I think that's how the classic rock stations play it. The really good ones. If you're listening to a classic rock station that say they're album rock, usually they play those together. Yeah. So very cool.
Yeah, the one we have at work, they always do Eruption going into You Really Got Me.
Oh yeah. And they probably do the two Led Zeppelin songs together, Livin', Lovin', Made, and Communication Breakdown. I think they put those together a lot. So anyway.
Yeah.
So
all right. So next song. So the next song is Dancing in the Street, which was going to be the single that they put out.
Yeah. And
so whatever roadblock Eddie had, he figured it out.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool. It has that fun, echoey, kind of bubbly synth.
Yeah.
I will say it's not the most interesting cover aside from the synth. Which is kind of cool, but it is fun. It's a fun song to listen to. It's very driving and danceable, and what you'd want.
And an oft covered song.
Yeah.
So
pretty popular.
Yeah.
So the next one after that is Little Guitar's Intro. And these ones I do think work better as two separate songs as an intro, because they're very different, and they don't really they go together in a sense, but not like instrumentally.
Oh, interesting.
Because Little Guitars is just acoustic guitar in the intro, and it's that flamenco kind of style guitar that was it was inspired by Carlos Montoya.
Yeah. Okay. He's great.
Yeah. So he popularized modern flamenco guitar and is really the driving force behind why it remains so popular.
Yeah.
And Eddie was very inspired by like the hammer on technique that he does, because there's a point in Little Guitars where he's tremolo picking on the top string and then hammering the notes on the lower string without plucking them, but it's hitting them hard enough to still sound
Right.
so. It's very cool style. What's also fun in tying into other things that we've talked about, that term like hammer on and pull off,
Yeah.
very everywhere in guitar playing nowadays. Those terms were created by Pete Seeger.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
That is really interesting.
I don't think he's the first to do it, but he's the one who like coined those terms. And
right. That's really funny, actually.
Yeah. So it's a pretty quick song. It's fun. I like it, but very, very short.
Yeah.
And then you go into Little Guitars, which is called that because it was recorded on a little electric guitar, like a little like half size Les Paul, something that looks like it'd be made for children. It's really funny. There's like photos of Eddie playing the little guitar, and it's tiny. It's really funny. But he just recorded this really good song. Like it's one of my favorite riffs.
Yeah.
On the whole album. And I think the best way that it really ties together is in the lyrics where he's singing about a señorita.
Okay.
That's really the strongest connection between the like flamenco style intro. Okay. I guess there's also, when the song came out, there was a lyric that people didn't really understand, where he was saying "catch as catch can," which it was like a phrase. Yeah. But it sounded like he was saying "etch a sketch."
Yeah, it does. No, yes. Now I remember that lyric. Now it does. You think he's saying etch a sketch? It does.
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. But it's a cool song. It's got that kind of like staccato riff in the verses. That's really fun and sounds great for being such a little guitar.
It's interesting because I've seen a couple of things where bands went for smaller versions of their instruments and made kind of a note of it. And one of them, Cake kept asking for somebody to see if they had I think it was a 3/4 size acoustic of a certain kind, and they were asking their whole fan base to try and find this guitar for a song they were trying to do. And then we watched Weird Al, and he did a piece in one of his songs on a little toy piano. And you hear the clink, plink, plink, plink. Like now that one sounds like a toy piano. It's like purposely that sound. But yeah, it was cool.
All right. So we get to track 10, which is such a great song. It's Big Bad Bill. It's Sweet William Now.
Yep.
And this is just like out of nowhere. It's so funny to like listen to this song in like shuffle of all their other songs. You're like, this is not the same group.
Yeah.
But I guess the story is like David Lee Roth heard it on some like AM radio station and was able to record it off the radio and then brought it to them as like, hey, we should do a cover of this song. It's kind of fun. And what's also really cool is they have, I assume it's going to be Jan Van Halen, who is Eddie and Alex's dad.
Okay.
Who was their whole life. He was a symphony clarinet player and did that all his life. And so the clarinet on the record is their dad. Oh. And it's funny. Great. Like he sounds great. And you really get where they get all their like musical skill from. Yeah, hearing him play clarinet like that, it's great clarinet.
Oh, wow. It's been a while, but recently I tried to look it up, and it doesn't say that he did this. But David Lee Roth was doing some shows, doing like a jug band style. Of songs, yeah. So kind of hearkening back to this, but was doing a whole bunch of more songs like that, just briefly. And it was kind of funny to see. I'm like, I know where that started.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. He does a really great job. I think his style of singing fits that kind of like campy novelty nature of the song. Yep. I remember reading something that Eddie had really struggled with the chords on this one because they're jazz chords and they're kind of dense and getting all the shapes right. Because he just does chords in the song.
Oh, okay.
Which is not something he usually does. He, wants to have a riff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great, and I still like love listening to this song just on its own.
I agree. That's a funny one.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, track 11 is called "The Full Bug."
Okay.
I read something, and I guess his inspiration is like some shoes that he had that I guess they had a good point on them. So like if a bug got into the corner, you could still squish the whole bug with them.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though I don't think that's really what any of the lyrics are about, or in a way where it's about like if you still put in all the effort, you can get the full bug.
Yeah.
That is, most about what it is. But this song, it feels like it could have been on Van Halen 1. Like it sounds exactly like something that would be on that album. Very driving. It's super fun instrumental with everyone playing together, and wildly impossible solo and gallop bass drum. Classic early Van Halen stuff. I feel like it's kind of in the same vein as like a Running with the Devil or Beautiful Girls kind of thing. And there's a harmonica solo from David Lee Roth, so that's fun.
Of course. There you
go. And then they wrap up the album, track 12, with Happy Trails, which is a cappella.
Yep.
Has that like bomba-dee-da.
Yeah, that's stuff. So funny.
Really fun. I think I read something that it was recorded a long time ago. Maybe around, I think like Van Halen 2 is when they recorded this, or had the idea to record it. So this is something they've practiced.
Wow.
It wasn't just like last minute, we need to do a last song.
Yeah.
Even though it feels like that.
Yeah.
But I guess a lot of reviewers at the time had compared it to The Muppet Show.
Yeah. But yeah, we used to listen to this one, the Happy Trails, just over and over and over again. I don't know why. I think we listened to this album a lot. The group, the friend group I had at the time, we listened to it quite a bit. So it's just kind of funny because it's and that one we laughed at that one, so it was good.
so yeah, that's the album. It's kind of a weird one.
Yeah.
I think you could see it as like a glorified B-sides album.
Yeah.
But it's still just quality work from a very talented group. And I don't know if you noticed, I tried to make an effort to use the word fun a lot.
Yeah.
Because I think things can just be fun.
Yes.
And they can still be great and still be very like important and meaningful to you if they're just fun. And
yes.
But also, like, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be this huge musical endeavor, some grand statement on, whatever. It can just be a fun thing. And I think there's a lot of things in my life that I like that are just for fun.
Yes.
Even though it's still kind of a pretty significant album. I read that, like, the disagreement between putting out Pretty Woman or Dancing in the Street as a single ultimately led to David Lee Roth leaving the group.
Oh. Really?
Their disagreement over that was the beginning of his time away. But yeah, it's just fun, and a lot of Van Halen albums are just fun.
Yeah, that's kind of the hallmark of who they were, and that it's playful, and playful subject matter, and it's. I think maybe their earlier albums had some more serious lyrics, but it wasn't completely serious. They just like that whole "I went to the edge and I turned and looked around," like it's kind of got some deepness to it, but it's still kind of a playful song even at that. Just maybe it gets a little dramatic, but it's still in a playful song. So it's pretty cool.
And I think the one that came before this, Fair Warning, was a little darker. Had some of their heaviest songs on that, like Mean Street or Unchained.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But they were always still very fun songs, and I was glad I was able to see them live. 2012 when they had their reunion.
Oh, you did, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's funny. Who'd you? Oh, I remember you went.
I went with Elaine and Hayden.
Yeah.
Up in Charlotte.
Oh, that's so funny.
And it was funny too because the opening act was Kool and the Gang.
Of course.
Yeah. So that was cool. But yeah, I remember hearing. Well, there's one more thing I want to get back to.
Okay.
After this, but hearing about Eddie dying, I don't really get too affected by celebrity deaths.
Right.
But that was one that was pretty impactful because it was a big reason around why I play guitar, and
Right.
I think at the time I had been playing a lot less guitar. I was like, I think I need to practice more and get back into this.
Right.
Even though I
Right.
hadn't lost too much skill, but I hadn't been progressing.
Yeah.
So it was sad to see him go, but it was also, I'm glad he was around. And
Yeah, that's good. It's good it's good to do something with it too. Give some tribute to what he had done.
yeah. But yeah, the other thing, like just things just being fun. 2 weeks ago, I think,
Okay.
Chloe and I went to go see Freakier Friday.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of fun. It was a fun movie and kind of kooky and weird.
Right.
But I mean, so was the original. And but the other day, Chloe showed me this podcast that she was listening to. Well, she listens to a lot, but she had someone on who was just like, oh, Freakier Friday was just garbage. Like it was so bad. It was so cheesy. Like the cinematography was bad. And he's like, and I love the original Freaky Friday. And I just immediately, I was like, have you seen it recently?
Right.
Because I think, maybe it is better, but also Freakier Friday doesn't have that weird racist stuff towards Asians. And
Yeah, right.
and it's also like, it's a kid's movie and you're an adult now.
Right.
But I think I kind of place the blame with like A24, where there's like this expectation for like really great cinematography and
Right.
a really great, interesting new story. And they're just like, it's just a retelling of the original movie. It's like, well,
Yeah.
it's based on a book
Yeah.
from the 70s. The moral of the story is always going to be the moral of the story
Right.
because the source material isn't changing.
Right. Right. That's so funny.
And so it's like it's a kid's movie that you didn't like because you're an adult, and that's fine. But it's also like it can just be fun. It doesn't have to have great cinematography. I mean, it was fine. It wasn't bad
Right.
filming. It's a Disney Channel movie,
Yeah. Yeah, but it's fun. I mean, we like the stuff that's just silly fun. And honestly, if you can do fun right, and great, you're not making any great statement about the state of the world, but if you can do fun right, it's more difficult than you think. It's really difficult to write something that doesn't just kind of irk you.
Yeah, right.
Like, for example, they did a Home Alone recently, and that was another one with some other people in it, and people that I like actors I like. I think it was about 15 minutes into it, and I was like, the premise of this is the kid's wrong. The kid's absolutely wrong. 100,000% the kid's wrong, and he's causing problems for people that have very serious repercussions, and he's going to see nothing from this, and it's just going to be him making their lives miserable. He's wrong. He's absolutely in the wrong on this. And so unlike every other Home Alone where he's just home alone, he's absolutely causing problems, and he should be murdered in this.
Right.
And yet everybody else is going to suffer. And so I was like, I can't watch it. I couldn't. I never finished it. I couldn't watch it at all because it was just so horrible in the first few minutes. So
that's what I remember thinking about. We went to go see the movie Friendship, which was Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson.
Yeah.
It's an A24 movie, and it looks great. Like it's shot very well. It's acted very well. But like the message of the story is really whack.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it feels like the message of the story is like adult men shouldn't have friends.
Oh.
Because when he starts, he's a little obsessive in the movie.
Yeah.
But when he like tries to have this friend group, his life falls apart. And when he distances himself from them, his life starts picking back up and getting a little better. And his like marriage improves.
Oh, and then that's too bad. So
it's a really good, like, I think you should leave sketch. It's very funny, but it's not a good movie.
That's too bad.
So in that sense, it's fun. But yeah, I like fun things. I think if something is just fun, that's totally valid and a totally valid expression. And I think we should have more of that.
Yes, I am here for you. That's why we watch Eurovision.
Yeah. Love Eurovision.
Just fun. Mm-hmm. And when the serious ones win, you know it's a bad year.
Yeah. Still can't. That Sweden one that beat out the cha-cha-cha.
I know. It's the biggest travesty of the last 20 years.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Oh, well.
So yeah, that's about all I have to say. Diver Down, it's a good album.
Yeah, that may be the most critical analysis that Diver Down has received ever. So,
Yeah.
other than the fact that it did have people wondering what Diver Down means, and then they started to research scuba diving because of it. So,
Right.
yeah, it's I think it's great. I have actually listened to this album quite a bit when I was a teenager. So, yeah, not your Van Halen's not your mom's favorite band.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly because she spent high school. All of her friends had Camaros, and all of them played 1984 nonstop in their Camaros.
Yeah.
And she was stuck in the back seat listening to nothing but Van Halen, and she wanted to listen to Alphaville and other alternative music, not Van Halen on heavy repeat. So
I remember her saying that like everybody she knew in like church would always play Jump on the piano, and everybody had to learn how to play Jump.
Yeah, the greatest cover of Jump sounds nothing like Jump. It's should go look for it. It's by Aztec Camera. So,
oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very slow and contemplative.
Nice.
So
that's cool.
It made me laugh when I first heard it. I'm like, this is weird. Anyway, well, I appreciate that. I'm glad I didn't. Some of that stuff I didn't know as much about, where you ran into Elaine first and how bad camp was. Maybe it's coming back to me now that maybe I heard some of this before, but it didn't stick as much. I think the fact that you found each other and had that, back and forth sharing the music may be the more important thing. So
yeah. Van Halen brought us together.
Yeah. Bruh. Dude.
Right.
Yeah. We don't have to talk. We just have to say did.
Yeah.
Did.
It's so funny because the music that we played is nothing like Van Halen.
Yeah. Well,
besides it has guitars and
has guitars, and you consider the musical nature of it. You're not just strumming out something weird. So
yeah.
Well, I appreciate the insight and the analysis. It was much fun to hear those songs in my head again, and now I have something else to go grab and listen to.
Yeah, I wonder, you probably still have that vinyl record. I'm sure I left it there with you guys.
I'll have to look and see. I don't recall it being here, but I'll look. One of the reasons that the track list might be out of order is because of Columbia Records. So which was the Columbia Record Club, and their versions of certain albums were for some reason out of order all the time.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, and the tapes, you knew they're tapes because they looked like them, but the back end didn't look like it. Had like a red stripe on either side, so it was like a copy of the tape. It was just such a cheesy club. But when you're selling 15 albums for a penny,
Is that the same one that is in Albuquerque? The Weird Al song?
Exactly.
Do you want to join the Columbia Record Group?
No.
Whoa! I'm not ready for this kind of commitment.
Right. And it was epic. I got sucked in once, so because then they just start sending you stuff. But yeah. So that may have been why. It may have been a copy from that.
Okay.
And it was just weird. I don't know why they would put things out of order, but they did. All right. Well, thanks for sharing. It was good talk.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Good hearing from you. Hope it's a great week for you.
Thank you. Yeah. Hope you have a good one.
All right. Cool. Take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye.